What's up, guys? This is the motherfucking CEO, Andy Frisella. You're listening to Hustle Inspires Hustle with Alex Quin.
What's up, guys? You're listening to the Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast with Alex Quin on Revolver Podcasts. I'm an investor and entrepreneur, and throughout this journey, I've worked with and come across some incredible people and experiences that I would like to share with you. Alrighty, guys, this is Alex Quin with the Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast, and today we have a very, very, very special guest. We've traveled the entire United States. We've taken 3 airplanes, 1 train to come see him, the one and only serial entrepreneur, author, the motherfucking CEO, Andy Frisella. How you doing, bro?
Good, brother. How are you?
Great, man. It's great to be here. We're in St. Louis, Missouri. We're here at First Form. Really impressive office, man. You got a solid operation here, man.
Thanks,
this is
man.
really cool to be here.
Yeah, sorry we're not in LA or Miami, bro. It's 20 degrees outside.
My toes are frozen,
Yeah,
man. I can't
it's
even
probably
feel
the
my
first
toes.
time some of you guys saw snow, but it's, this is home for us. So we really like it. We're just Midwestern dudes trying to do our thing.
You are doing your damn
Yep.
thing. I like that, man. So this all happened. This all came together because of Tyler and Nat Castellon, Nat City.
Yeah.
I want to give them a big thank you because I wouldn't be sitting in this chair without them, and this is very important for me and my team. So thank you so much. You have a great team behind you, man, and my team made this happen. So
Everybody
exciting.
that we've got here is pretty good except Tyler.
So
So he's sitting right here, by the way, because here's what'll happen.
yeah.
I'll get people be like, dude, why are you dogging Tyler? I dog Tyler because we're boys, and that's what boys do.
You got to do that to each
Yeah.
other. You got to shit on each other a little bit.
Right. So
So
cool.
you guys work together because you guys are a very family oriented company. I could see.
Yeah, man, when you put in the hours that we have, I mean, everybody here works extremely hard. And when you put those kind of hours in, just from being around each other so much, I mean, it's our network. You know what I'm saying? When we go have beers or go hang out, it's weird. It's just weird. Like, that's who we hang out with too, because we spend so much time together. And it's funny because when I go and visit other people's companies, it's weird to me that it's not like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
like
it's what you're used to.
I can't even remember what it was like. I have to think back a long time to think about the last time that I've been out or had like dinner or drinks or a function that wasn't people from our company. Like I mean, I probably have to think back 10 years, because that's how we roll around here. And it's not something to force it. It's not like, hey, come hang out with me or you're fired. Like, it's
People just gravitate
it's
towards you in that way.
Yeah, but it's all these guys here hang out with each other and do shit together. It's just we all work hard, and when you spend that much time around each other, you're going to become friends usually. So it's organic.
That's amazing, man. And you inspire your team. You inspire your team every day. Everything that you're doing is constantly showing them that they need to work hard, which talks about what I was telling you, hustle inspires hustle.
Right.
These guys are seeing you do podcasts. Like you have a whole company running right now. You guys got guys running behind you. You got the warehouse in the back, and you're sitting here doing a podcast with a kid from Miami.
Right.
But you're taking the time to expand your network, and you're taking the time to give people opportunity, and that's inspiring.
Thank you, man.
Who would want to work for somebody that doesn't want to think that way? Somebody that's closed-minded. I for sure wouldn't want to work for somebody like that, especially in this damn cold.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole reason I started my podcast was because I saw we employ so many people here, and most of them are young. And I saw the way they were being taught, and dude, they just weren't being taught the right things. And so that's where the whole name, in the MFCEO project, the project part comes from it being a literal project to help people kind of squash the way that they were brought up to think and then adopt new ways of thinking. So I learned that from having employees, and then I'm like, dude, everybody needs this stuff. It's not just our team, and that's why we started the podcast. It came from a very organically wanting to care way. We never thought, oh, dude, we're going to start this podcast and conquer social media. It wasn't like that wasn't the plan.
And if that would have been the plan, it probably wouldn't have worked.
No, I don't think it would have.
It probably wouldn't have worked.
So we just tried to, do what we thought was right. And I've always believed in that. And it's got me pretty, I feel like I've done pretty good for 39 years old,
Of course, man.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just keep doing what I think is right.
So 39 years old. And this is pretty much going to be the theme of what I want to be speaking to you about.
Yeah.
Everything for me in this entrepreneurship journey and in what I'm doing right now is about self-development and learning. Right. Everybody knows that the entrepreneurial journey is an emotional, crazy ass roller coaster. And it seems that, every year you feel like you live 10 years, right? And you learn so many things. You lose people, you lose family. You could lose yourself at times.
Absolutely.
Andy, if you had like 18-year-old Andy right in front of you right now, what would you give him as advice? What would you tell him?
Man, it's so funny that you asked that question, because I've actually been thinking about that question because for the last couple days. I just had James Lawrence on my podcast this past week, and I don't know when you're going to air this show, but the dude, he like inspired me for real. And I don't get inspired very much from other people very often. I've seen a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I've been around a lot of success. Now, of course, I get inspired by great stories of humanity. You know what I mean? Like, but the mental aspect and the mental toughness that this man, he did 50 Ironmans. If you don't know who James Lawrence is.
50 states, right?
50 Ironmans in 50 states in 50 days. Okay. To hear his story, I didn't know his story. My guys actually set up the podcast because a lot of these guys are those kind of athletes, endurance athletes. And they're like, hey, dude, you want to have this guy on your podcast? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. Little did I didn't know anything about him. So little did I know like what I was going to pull from the show. Cause usually the people who come on the show, they're like, dude, I pulled so much from you. That was so cool. This was the opposite. Like, this made me say, holy shit, and I started thinking about how much further I could have been had I developed the mental skills that he developed early on in life. Because, dude, I wasn't always the way that I am now. I was shy. I was timid. I wasn't a good speaker. I was somebody who couldn't finish. I was someone who was undisciplined and lazy and made excuses. And that took me a long time to eradicate those behaviors from my life. And listening to him talk, he showed me a picture. He was telling me how he did his first 3 Ironmans, Hawaii, then Alaska, then Washington. And he showed me a picture of his feet after he did the first 3. Now, he did the first 3 on like 3 hours of sleep total. All right. 3 Ironmans on 3 hours of sleep. That's a feat in itself. All right. The guy shows me a picture of his feet. His toes look like someone had took a pair of pliers and ripped off his toenails and squashed all of his toes after 3 days. And I'm like,
and he got another 47
to go. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Like, what am I leaving on the table here? So I started thinking, like, what if we could create a program for young people to go through to develop those skills as quickly as possible? Because, dude, had I developed even 1/10 of what this man has when I was 18 years old or 19 years old, I would have been where I'm at by 25. You know what I mean? But I had to work on myself so long that it took me a long time.
But you wouldn't change it. I bet you wouldn't change one thing.
No.
And I've heard you speak about it before. You've gone through what you've gone through, but it's made you who you are. So it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I don't regret anything. Like, people are always like, what would you change? I wouldn't change anything because I feel like...
Because it would change everything.
Exactly.
That's what people don't understand. Just change your future by changing your mindset. The second you change the way you look at things is the second that your world changes. If you keep looking at the back, you're not going to be able to go forward.
Well, I think it's okay to look at back, but understand that the reason that we look back is not to focus on how great things used to be. It's to learn the mistakes that we made and apply those new lessons to where we're going to go from here. And I think people don't connect those dots. I mean, dude, by the time most people are 30 years old, they're already settled in. Like, this is my life. This is what I have. I did exactly what they told me to do, what quote unquote they told me to do. And this is what my life's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be $100,000 in student loan debt. I'm supposed to, struggle to pay my mortgage. I'm supposed to drive a shitty minivan. I'm supposed to be unhappy. And they don't realize that, like, dude, 30 years old is still really young. And especially in today's age, enough time to take control of your life and to change it. You know?
I mean, any time is a good time.
Dude,
you could be
for
50, 60 years old. It's never too late for you to want to change your life and feel better about yourself, about who's around you,
dude,
about spreading positivity. It's never late.
So focused on the future. Like, most of the young people are like, dude, at 39 years old, first of all, dude, I feel like I'm 20 still. You know, I still think I'm 20. Like, I still do shit 20-year-old kids do. You know, I'm immature as fuck. I tell stupid jokes. You know, I rap in the car. Like, I do all the shit that I used to do. Like, you know, when you're 20 years old, you're like, dude, am I going to be that 40-year-old dude rapping this rap song? Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you
definitely are.
Yeah, you are.
But like, I'm so focused on the future and what I want to accomplish and the impact, and not just from a money standpoint, from every area, that, dude, I don't even remember things from when I was younger. You know what I mean? Like, I saw a group of people that I used to hang out with in high school, and, dude, I didn't fucking recognize them. And I felt like a dick. I was like, after like 2 minutes, they're like, dude, it's me, you know, you used to come to my house. And I'm like, holy shit. And it wasn't because they looked that different. It's because I just I just don't focus on that. I focus on the future, you know? And I think most people are the opposite from my experience.
They keep looking back.
Yeah.
They keep looking back. And you see it in the results of the development of their career or their personal life.
Absolutely.
You could tell. And you immediately, when you sit down with a person that has that type of attitude or that type of mindset, you could feel it right away.
Yeah, dude.
You feel it. You feel the energy instantly.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I have a bunch of work going on this new house that I bought. And I was walking through the basement, and there was a guy that was doing some of the drywall work. And I'm like, hey, man, how's it going? He's like, it's going. And I'm like, cool. I'm like, well, you're really hustling down here. It looks good. He goes, well, they don't give me a choice. I'm like, I just shut up and left. I'm I'm not even going to work on you, bro. Like, you're fucking gone, you know? But like, you can tell by the way people respond where they are mentally instantly, especially when you start to really pay attention.
Yeah. And it changes your entire reality. I'll give you a crazy example. My first job ever was at a sub chain called Miami Subs.
I know Miami Subs.
Miami Subs.
Yeah.
I used to do bathrooms and dishes, right? And I did it with pride, you know? I was learning. I didn't know how to clean bathrooms. I would be good for my personal life.
Yeah.
I was learning about business. I was learning about how to run things. I was back of the house. It was a good opportunity for me as a 15-year-old. But I'll give you a crazy story. This was around when I'm 15. Fast forward to when I'm like about 20 years old. I'm 25 now. I have my advertising agency running, and I have several employees. I had about 12 employees at the time.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going in. I was always hungry growing up, so I always looked for an opportunity to grow.
You know what's funny? You say, dude, like we were talking a minute ago about language, like the people use. You've just revealed so much about yourself. I don't even know if you're aware of it. Like when you said, dude, I'm cleaning bathrooms at 15, it was a tremendous opportunity for me.
Yeah.
You're fucking right, it is.
Yeah.
Because it's the opportunity to teach you how to be disciplined and how to do things above and beyond, which most people never learn. Most kids will look at that job and they would say, why the fuck do I have to clean a bathroom? Why do I got to be the guy who sweeps the floor?
Well, somebody has to do it, and you have to show respect because you never know. That person may be the CEO next time.
That's right.
And that takes me to the rest of my story.
Yeah.
I walk in with my team to the Miami Subs. A few years later, my whole team, I'm buying them lunch because our office was across the street. And the entire staff that worked there when I was 15 years old, about 8 to 10 years later, were still there.
Yeah.
And it's about mindset. I could have, some of the kids that were working with me at the same time, you know, bagging food or pouring drinks were still there. And not that there's anything wrong with it. That's what they do, and they do it with pride, and that's fine. But for me, I saw beyond that, and I wanted more things for myself. And you shouldn't. One of the biggest things I tell people is don't let your current reality define your future. Like, just because you're fucked right now, or because your family doesn't believe in you, or because they think that you're crazy because of what you're doing, or because people think you're nuts, or they don't believe in your product, that doesn't mean that you're not worthy of doing what you want to do. Like, that doesn't mean anything.
It means nothing.
It means absolutely nothing. Because they're not doing anything for you. They're not paying your bills.
But you have to understand that when you're young, you know, what are we taught? We're taught the same shit, dude. Listen to your parents. Do what they say. And I'm not saying don't. You should respect your parents. But you also need to be smart enough to understand their perspective and your teacher's perspective and the authority, the way that kids are raised now, they're raised by people who haven't achieved. They haven't achieved for the most part. Okay. That creates an issue for us because they're teaching us things that will eventually put us in a position of where they are, and they're proud of where they are, right? So the issue that we have as adults coming from teenager to adulthood is there's a conflict of interest, like of what result do I want versus what result do they want. And a lot of times that causes disagreement and contention. And it can feel very negative, but you have to understand, especially if you're young listening right now, that they're only saying those things because they want you to be successful, and what they define as success is just different than what you define.
Yeah, they just want to protect you. They want to see you doing well.
It comes from a place of love. It's not haters. Dude, I'm going to tell you, all these motherfuckers online right now talking about haters, dude, you don't have any fucking haters until you have people come to your house and pop your fucking tires on your car or put sugar in your gas tank or kill your fucking dog, which I've had all three happen to me.
Or stab you.
You don't have fucking haters.
Yeah.
Okay? So don't talk to me about fucking hate.
Because of a comment on Instagram. Yeah.
Right, exactly, dude. If you can't handle a comment on Instagram, you can't handle success.
No.
Period.
Or failure.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Now, let me ask you, because I do this every time. Every time I connect with somebody or I'm going to connect with somebody, I see the people that we have in common. I went on your Instagram and I saw that you follow Jordan Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Okay. I used to be Jordan Zimmerman's chauffeur.
Oh, cool.
I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. He inspired me to... Jordan Zimmerman is probably the reason I'm sitting here today.
Yeah.
Because as his driver, I got to go. I take him everywhere. He would talk to me. You know, he would engage in conversation with me. He would show me his building, his employees. He gave me a private tour. I remember one day I was like about to turn 19 years old, and I drop him off at his building, and he tells me, "Hey, have you ever been inside Zimmerman Advertising?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "You want to see it?" I was like, "I mean, maybe it's out of place for me because I'm your driver, but I would love to see it." He gave me a private tour. The whole place was closed. He has this whole wall with all of his accomplishments from beginning to where he is now, everything that he's done. And I just stood there. And for minutes, quiet, just reading it. He just stood there with me as I read everything. I was in awe.
Yeah.
And I was already good at marketing. I was already doing marketing as my main job, and I was just driving for him as a side thing, right? That changed my life, bro.
Yeah.
I literally went home and I told my parents, I've always loved marketing. I've been doing this. I've had success with some companies that I've been working with, but if Jordan Zimmerman was able to start an advertising agency next to a dumpster in Fort Lauderdale in a small office, I could do it. Yeah. So I went home that day and told my parents, you know what? I know it sounds crazy because I've been driving this guy for a while and I'm doing this, but I'm really passionate about it and I really actually believe that I could do this. I started my agency. I saved up all the money from Pizza Hut and Miami Subs, bought computers, bought cameras, rented an office, got a part-time employee, put everything on the line. This was me, 18 years old. Today at 25, not only am I connected with Jordan Zimmerman, you're connected with him. I'm sitting in front of you. Yeah. All of these things are happening. And it's just because I actually went and did it instead of waiting for it to come knocking on my door, which is what I try to tell people all the time. And the reason that I'm doing this podcast, like Andy, I've looked up to you for a long time. I've been listening to your shit for an extremely long time. My team does. Everybody knows who you are when they deal with me because I send your link to all my friends and I force them to listen to that shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, listen, because you say it all the time.
I appreciate it.
If you fuck with me, one thing I want you to do is share it with your friends.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
And for me, it's just me explaining to people like this is a testament to what I've been telling them. Look, I started this podcast 5 weeks ago. Now I have Jason Stone, Millionaire Mentor, which I saw you follow.
Yeah.
The guys from Iconic, Jeff Cole is on the podcast. I have so many people and it's just putting my mind to it, making sure that not only do I do what I'm going to say, but that I do things with integrity. Right. And I have a good reputation so people respect me because there's so many people in this industry right now, in the entrepreneurship industry, who are full of shit. And they're just a bunch of dicks to everybody and they don't really take this shit seriously and they don't want to help people.
No,
they're doing it for
show, dude.
It's a show and they're doing it for their own motives. And at the end of the day, when people do things selflessly, you could tell. And that's one of the reasons that I'm doing this. We're traveling the whole world this year, Andy. Really connecting with people, hearing their stories, seeing how we could help them, and seeing how we could all help each other. Because at the end of the day, for me, for social media, my followers are not my fans. I don't see them as my fans. I don't want them to be my fans and comment and me ignore them. I don't believe in that. For me, they're my business partners because they expand my network. And it's the same thing for you. Your fans on social media, they're all your business partners because at the end of the day, they're supporting your business.
That's right.
They're feeding you business. They're recommending your podcast. Yeah. What more business partner can it be than that? They are your people and your network.
That's right.
And you have to treat them as such.
Yeah.
And you have to be yourself because I've been disappointed by so many people in this industry where I go to events, I go to conferences, I get on stage and I speak. And I look at people that I looked up to for a while and they disappoint the shit out of me the second I speak one word to them.
Right.
Because you could tell how arrogant and how damaged they are by the industry. And that's something I don't want to happen to me. I don't want this industry to damage me to the point where I have to be a dick to people.
It won't happen to you, and I'll tell you why. Because you started out at Miami Subs cleaning fucking bathrooms, okay? A lot of these people that are out there doing the things that you're talking about, first of all, they don't even run a real fucking business. Their business is to try to get paid to speak about shit that they never fucking did, okay? Why would you listen to someone who's never done what it is you want to do? You shouldn't. It's stupid, okay? Second of all, a lot of the people right now who are presenting themselves as entrepreneurs, they didn't start cleaning the fucking bathrooms. They started on second base and think they hit a fucking double, okay? Or they started on third base and think they hit a triple. I started from fucking nothing, okay? I know the value of a customer. I know what it's like to have one customer. I know what it's like to sit in a fucking retail store and see nobody for days on end. I know what it's like to have nothing. I know what it's like to sleep in a retail store for years on end. Not for a fucking day, not for a night, not for a week, not for a month, for years at a time on a fucking shitty mattress that I got at a Salvation Army store that was fucking 5 stores down from our first retail store that I had to sleep on with my business partner who is the same size as I am. 2 big old fucking burly dudes who are not gay cuddling up on a free fucking mattress, okay? I know what that's like, all right?
And it says a lot that you're sharing that because a lot of people will not share something like that.
Yeah, but the thing is that's why I don't take it for granted. And that's why that's the difference with what you're talking about. You're talking about people who have never fucking done it versus people who have. And I guarantee you, and I know this for a fact, people who have really lived that kind of life, not exactly this, but their version of that, they appreciate people looking up to them. They appreciate their followers. They appreciate people who celebrate them and are dedicated to them. Like every single person that listens to my podcast or buys any product or even likes or views my shit, or guess what, doesn't like it, but still views it. I appreciate. You know what I mean?
Because they don't have to.
I don't take that shit for granted.
Yeah.
I remember what it's like to literally post a post on Instagram and have 2 fucking likes. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? This app is broken. 2 likes. Like, what do you mean 2? Like, and I was thinking like, God, dude, this is so much harder than Facebook. Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I don't get it. I know what that shit's like. You know what I mean? I know what it's like to be where a lot of these guys are right now. And I just I take pride in never taking that for granted because, dude, I've seen people who are very close to me lose companies and lose their fortune, like literally overnight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's scary how fast it could happen, man.
I've seen somebody who I know very well lose $100+ million company in literally less than 12 months. From complete success financially to complete destitute financially in 12 months. I've seen it. I've seen it very close.
And not only in financials, but in health.
Yeah.
Because you're on top. You could be on top of the world today, and tomorrow you could be sick.
Yeah.
And then it's a wrap.
Right.
It's a wrap. I've seen it. I've seen it in my family. It happened with my stepmother. My stepmother was good one day, and then the next day she had cancer.
Yeah.
And then a few months later she was absolutely gone.
Yeah.
And who would have thought that a woman in her early 40s that would happen? But you never know where life's going to take you. So you just got to take that into consideration when interacting with other people, and then when looking to inspire other people. Because if you're somebody that has a voice and has a platform to inspire others, you have to be extremely careful of the things you do and you say to people because they carry huge weight.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys don't realize that.
Right. No, they don't. And the other thing too, man.
And girls too.
I believe personally, I believe in karma, dude. Like, I don't know. Everybody's got their own beliefs.
Karma is a thing.
I truly believe it's real.
Yeah.
I've seen too many things.
It's all energy.
Yeah, dude. I've seen too many things in my life to not believe that. Okay. And I also believe in the law of attraction, but I also believe in the law of action. Okay. So you got to meet it in the middle. But I've seen too many people who take their success for granted and lose it, that I'm literally terrified of taking it for granted. You know what I mean? Like, I wake up every day and I'm like, holy shit, dude, this is awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Whoever you are out there, the universe, God, whatever it is, this is awesome. And I appreciate it. And I never take it for granted. You know what I mean? I think whenever you take shit for granted, life has this weird way of punching you right in the teeth.
To teach you.
Yeah, and I don't want that.
And the worst part is that some people, it continues to happen to them, and they just think that they're fucking unlucky.
Yeah.
And it's like, wake up. Like, look at what you're doing, and just change one thing. You'll see that your entire life is going to change.
Yeah, you have no gratitude at all in your life.
It happens to somebody very close to me and my family.
I get it.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
That negativity and that mindset will always keep them in the place that they are.
Yeah.
If you think negative, every single fucking day, bad shit's going to happen to you.
Yep.
If you wake up with a smile on your face, positive, wanting for things to work out, it's gonna happen. It's energy.
I get it. I totally get it, bro. But you have to. People listening right now, they think we're like. I get it. Like, I get what you're saying, 100%. Like, in a literal, like, actual way. But people who are hearing this conversation right now, a lot of them are like, dude, these guys are fucking smoking crack. Like, what are they talking about? Because their life is totally they're saying shit like this. Yeah, it's easy for these guys to talk about. They're fucking doing all these great things. What about me? I can't pay my bills. I've got this shitty job. I'm overweight. I'm out of shape. I got a shitty girlfriend. Blah, 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 blah. And they're saying, how, it's easy for them to say this shit, and so they ignore the message. You know what I mean? They think it's a circumstantial
They assume it doesn't apply to them, or that it's just,
exactly.
But it's all the same.
When in reality, we're talking exactly right to those people. It's just going fucking
because we've been
right
those
over their
people.
head.
You've been those people.
Yeah.
I've been those people.
Bro.
I've eaten off the McDonald's dollar menu for months on end. McChickens and water. $1 McChicken for breakfast, $1 McChicken for lunch, $1 McChicken for dinner for months on end with my business partners or by myself while my team is eating. While I'm cutting checks for my team.
That's right.
I'm negative in the bank account or having to fucking borrow money to eat McChickens while my whole business is running.
Dude,
because
that's entrepreneurship, bro.
You have to be willing to do that.
Yeah.
And I don't respect entrepreneurs that put a bunch of money in their pocket and watch their people struggle, because that's not longevity for your business.
No.
That's just short-term success.
That's right.
And you're going to come down crashing.
That's right. Yep.
I hate that.
I see it all the time, man. It's unfortunately, because of the social media world that we live in, a lot of guys that are starting businesses right now are so worried about looking a certain way and appearing to be a certain way instead of actually building a company.
Yeah.
And especially now, dude, with all the every conference you go to, they talk about the same shit. How to create a funnel, how to get leads, how to convert leads, blah, 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 blah. But what none of them talk about is how to use those tools to build a real fucking company.
Or they don't even talk about mental health.
Oh, dude. I mean, that's
because
a whole nother
you can't do any of those things that you just mentioned without having good mental health and without having your actual shit together.
Right.
You get me? Because you may be the best guy doing ClickFunnels and e-commerce and drop shipping, but if your emotions are a mess and if you can't interact with people and you can't give or receive love, what's the point of knowing all of that stuff?
Dude,
you're just
I don't know,
running
man.
in circles.
I think that if you're a young person listening right now, it would serve you well amongst your current peer environment to consider the fact that you are at a tremendous competitive advantage right now if you are willing to understand the power of creating a real company, okay? Because what's happening right now in the young entrepreneur space is everybody's concerned about acquiring customers, converting them. No one's concerned about keeping them. Okay? And no one's concerned about creating amazing customer experience. That's the shit that builds what you're sitting in right now. The warehouse next door is also ours. You don't know this because you just walked in.
Yeah.
We're in a big fucking building right now, by the way, that is full of fucking people and product and shit going out the door. Well, the reason that shit goes out the door, and it goes out the door next door, and it goes out the door another building down here. Oh, yeah, by the way, it goes out a building 30 miles away and another building in Denver every fucking day is because I am worried about people actually getting benefit from my product and keeping them long term. You can make $1 million converting leads, but guess what? you're going to have to find a new widget every fucking 8 weeks to sell.
It's a one-off.
Yeah, right. And you're going to be chasing it. You're never going to have security. If I was a young person, you asked me like from an entrepreneur standpoint, what I would tell someone who was 18 myself, I would say worry about how you can keep your customers and how you could create loyalty amongst your customers. Because if you could start that process at 20 years old, you'll be far surpassed where I'm at 30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of the technology that we have. But right now, everybody's concerned with the flash.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, that's right.
Is
They
a
want a
problem.
Rolls Royce. They want a Huracan. They want to take a picture with money on their bed. You know, they want this or that or this. And it's cool to want that shit. I get it.
I want that. You have a Lamborghini,
Yeah,
but
fuck,
it's not
dude,
about the
I got
Lamborghini.
Fucking 3 Lamborghinis. I mean, dude, I got 30 fucking exotic cars for real. Like, I'm not exaggerating. At least 30. I don't even know. I actually don't even know how many I have. But I really don't.
That
like,
sounds
I couldn't
fucking
even tell
crazy.
You.
I don't know how many cars I have.
Yeah, I don't. People ask, they're like, how many cars you have? I don't know because I'm constantly in the process of moving them around. But the reason I'm able to live that way is because I spent the first 15, 16 years building a real company versus just trying to acquire customers and sell them shit. You know what I'm saying?
Incredible, man.
Yeah, there's a huge advantage right now for young people to do that. And the tools are there, the technology's there. It's just people are misusing it.
Now, you guys are always looking for fresh talent, right? So for people that are listening that do look up to you and want to work in the type of field that you're working in or want to benefit from all this stuff, do you guys have mentorship programs? Do you guys have any type of programs where people could get a hold of you guys to bring something to the table to prove themselves? Because I see that you guys are really good at connecting with people on social media, and your team is always on the lookout for great things that have to do with helping you build a business. How can somebody get a hold of you? What's the best way for somebody to get a hold of you guys?
Dude, honestly, if you want to build a career with our companies, the best way to do it is to come here, to show up here and get a job in the warehouse. Because every single guy that starts here starts packing boxes. Because it's an integral part of the process. It's extremely important. They're the last people that touch a product before our customers get it. It's probably the most important job in our building, and we start everybody there. Now, there's unlimited opportunities to move up once you're there and you start doing well. But a lot of people just aren't willing to start there.
Because the pride.
That's right.
Or they have a degree, or they have a.
I don't give a fuck.
Have a degree. I'm not going to pack boxes. Well, you have to understand.
From fucking Harvard. I don't care.
Anything.
You're going to go back and start packing boxes. That's where I started. I started at the fucking retail counter.
And then they want to sit in the room with you. They got to be able to understand how your business works.
When we started First Form, I was already a fucking millionaire, and I would guess who was packing boxes?
You.
Me. Okay.
And I'm sure you still do.
Yeah, I do.
And you go and check, make sure they do it good.
You can ask any of those guys. I'm out there more than I'm up here. Because I like that. I like that shit. I like the grittiness. I like the grind. I like the perseverance. I like teaching these guys at a fundamental level how important it is to pay attention to details. Now, you asked about mentorship. You're going to get, dude, the best mentorship you could ever get in your life would be to work here at First Form. I can promise you that. But Ed Milet and I do have a program called Arte Syndicate, which people can join. We have 2 groups. We have a syndicate, which is a high dollar mastermind type group. People call it a mastermind. This is completely different than that. This is basically, if there was a school for entrepreneurship, this is what it is. Okay. And it's a 10-month program. It's expensive to be in the syndicate. We only take 65 people. Very, very expensive for people to get in. We also have an accelerator, which the accelerator is basically a program that we let people apply to if we think they're somebody who represents the values of what we're trying to implement over the course of history. They can get into the accelerator. The accelerator is a monthly program that basically feeds into the syndicate eventually, hopefully. So that's how it works.
That's great.
Yeah. So the accelerator, I think we've got like 1,000 people in or something like that. I think, we have 1,000 total. I think we've got like 800 in the accelerator. And then we've got like 65 people in the syndicate.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Man.
And then we've got our team that handles it all too.
You guys are leaving an incredible legacy.
That's what matters, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That leaves me.
After you have money and you've got houses and cars and watches and all the shit, you start looking around wondering like, fuck, dude, does this even really matter?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I believe, and I know Ed believes too, that those things should be used to inspire success amongst the next generation. And so that's what we're trying to do.
How do you want to be remembered? My football coach always used to ask me that in high school. And I always ask people, he used to ask me, how do you want to be remembered? And it just stayed with me. It's a crazy question.
You know, I think that changes every few years. So right now, you know, my main concern is to be someone who is remembered for doing things that they didn't have to do to help people become what they want to become. A lot of people say, I want to be the greatest at this, or there's a lot of great people that do that. You know, Tony Robbins has built his entire life around educating people and bringing people up. And you can say whatever you want about him. You know, people say, oh, well, it's a lot of weird shit and dancing around. You know what, dude? The guy produces results, and he's dedicated his entire life to helping people get better. I respect that.
You can't knock his game, bro.
No, fuck
Man
no.
does his
He's
thing.
the best at what he did.
And he saves lives.
He's the best ever at what he does. He invented personal development. I respect that. You know what I mean? Now, he didn't actually invent personal development, but he invented it.
But I get what you mean.
Yeah. Because a lot of people be like, oh, dude, that's bullshit.
They're going to get technical with it.
I know. But the truth is no one's done it on his level. And I respect that. You know what I mean? And I have different ways I want to be remembered. Like, I want First Form to be known and remembered as the company that changed more people's lives than any other company that ever existed. Ever. Not in a supplement space. Ever. You know what I mean? So, basically, man, I think at the end of the day, I just don't want to feel like it was all about me. You know what I mean? And that's really the most important thing. So I try to live that every day.
Alrighty, Andy. So for the people listening at home who don't know about you, but now do, how can they find you on social media? What is the best way to find you?
I do most of my content on Instagram. It's just at Andy Frisella. And then I have my website. It's just andyfrisella.com. That's the best places to find me and find out what I'm doing and all that. We keep that pretty up to date. I don't do a whole lot on the other platforms, honestly, because, dude, I'm an actual operator. I'm running companies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not a social media. That's not all I have.
You have actual shit to do.
Right, exactly. So most of it's on Instagram.
And, of course, they could find you on streaming platforms for the MFCEO project on Spotify.
So that's my main project that I do is the podcast. So we have the #1 business podcast on earth and have been number one or in the top 5 for the last 4 years. It's called the MFCEO project. That stands for motherfucking CEO. For those of you guys that aren't jiving with what that is, it's a cool podcast. It's about entrepreneurship, also personal development. Basically, every single thing that you would need to know to be successful over the next 20 years of your life. If you're from 18 to 25 and you want to win, it's a show that you just have to listen to, and you can attest to that as well.
Yeah, it's a show that my whole team listens to. Yeah. So if anybody looks up to what we're doing and wants to develop themselves, you want to develop personally in your career, and you generally want to surround yourself with people who are going to uplift you, listen to the MFCEO project, stay connected to Hustle Inspires Hustle, and just keep doing your thing. Don't let people hold you back. Positive mind, positive thoughts. Keep going forward. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate your time, man.
I'm honored to be on the show, brother.
Thank you, my man.
Thank you.